look at Thames Water, which is obviously in a complete crisis. And we all know that the reason it's in a crisis is because decades of rapacious shareholders from elsewhere have pulled money out of this company and not pushed money back in. But actually, that process is enacted through share ownership, through stock exchanges, through giving executives incentives to pay money out to shareholders, to rewarding them if the shares do well. All of these kind of things, encouraging them to take particular kind of corporate strategic actions. And that's been a sort of trajectory since, really the 1980s. A lot of what's in the book is about the transformations that happen in the 80s, and I'm sure we'll get onto those.
Yes.
But the world we're living in now is a world that is heavily influenced by finance. And a lot of the problems that we face, be they kind of local problems, such as, you can't swim in the river, or be they global problems like there's too much carbon in the air or what have you. A lot of these are to some extent mediated by finance. And that's why it matters. And if we don't think about the kind of interactions that happen around share ownership, stock exchanges, and so forth, then we will struggle to deal with those problems, and we lose one of the levers that we might have to deal with them as well. So that's why I think it matters, because it's kind of fulcrum for all sorts of social problems that we have.
It's kind of crazy to think that you can't swim in your local river because of shareholder value or the desire to protect shareholder value.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. Shareholders who are pensioners in Canada or Australia or somewhere else, people somewhere else are benefiting at our expense. And I guess that's one of the sort of real takeaways from the book, is that there's this narrative around finance that it's about building. It's we finance things, we do things, we build industry, we create wealth. But actually, it's really about finding ever more exciting and interesting ways of moving wealth around and taking wealth out. And all sorts of different, kind of deals and financial instruments and things with exciting acronyms and so forth are precisely for this purpose of taking money from one group of people, usually people who are less powerful or disadvantaged or what have you, and giving it to another group of people, usually people who are wealthier and more powerful and so forth. It's a kind of macrocosm of global history in some senses, I guess. But that's how finance has always been. It's always had those characteristics.
I'm a really big fan of these conversations where we dive into finance history. I find it fascinating. If you do too, then you can watch the full interview with Philip Roscoe here.